This one is going to have some cringe in it.
The Songs is a poem, so it's not going to be explicit. It's an allegorical and a typological prophecy in which there is an immediate reference, but there are implicit future overtones.
No, that is not true, and you need to actually show evidence that is the case. Plus, you're saying Muhammad is mentioned by name in this passage. To quote,
his name, physical description, and location are all alluded to in the text.
But his name is not in the text. The way you pronounce this word is Mahmed, and this passage is plural, so it's Mahmedim. So are there multiple Muhammads?
Multiple Christian commentaries identify this passage with Jesus Christ, and classical Jews interpret this as God's love for Israel.
Yes, and those are just as cringeworthy as what you're trying to do. This is a detailed and graphic account of two people engaging in intercourse, including references to mouth practices. For Christians to try to hide this and say it's about Jesus and his love for the church, bleh.
Verse 10 says, "My beloved is white and red, chief among 10,000. And the chief amongst 10,000 is a clear reference to the conquest of Makkah, in which the Prophet Muhammad conquered Makkah with 10,000 companions.
The words actually imply dazzling and ruddy, and this could just be about King David, who was ascribed 10,000 and is also said to be ruddy.
Then we get to verse 16. His mouth is most sweet. Yeah, he is Muhammad. The word in Hebrew is Muhammadim, the suffix im being a plural respect.
Okay, once again, it's Mahmedim, not Muhammadim. The reason for the im ending is because it is expected in the verse by the preceding line, where it is a grammatic plurality of sweet things coming from his mouth. Basically, it's saying there's many sweet things that come from his mouth, and there's many good things on him to look at. And this makes more sense with the context, because she just finished listing several attractive things about Solomon. And verse 16 is the climax, no pun intended, of this passage. If this is about Muhammad, y'all got some weird alleged prophecies. And I'm not sure if you're aware of all the euphemisms in this text. Verse 1 talks about getting drunk on sweet things. Solomon in verse 2 says, "Open to me." Then in verse 4 he stretches his hand, which Tremper Longman notes is a euphemism for something else stretching out, into her keyhole. And you think this is about Muhammad?
This word shows up only once in the entire Bible in this form, and it's uniquely in Song of Solomon 5:16.
That's not really true, because the word Mahmed, which you think sounds like Muhammad, shows up at other places in the Hebrew Bible without the im ending, and it doesn't mean Muhammad there. I also want to add that if you can mix Hebrew and Arabic to get a prophecy of Muhammad in this passage, then we need to apply that elsewhere. For example, the Hebrew word for mouse is Akbar. So by your own standard, every time you say Allahu Akbar, are you saying God is a mouse? Look, I'll be real with you. There are serious arguments that Muslims put forward that Christians need to address. This is not one of them. We've heard this for years, and in Christian circles and in Jewish circles, this is a point of laughter for us. And digging your heels in on this is not going to make it look any better.